Good morning, everyone. Today we're here in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park at the Cherokee Orchard Road.
And we're going to do the Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail. It's one of our favorites. It's a must if you come to Gatlinburg. Dawn, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's do it.
Let's do this. Nothing quite like the sound of rushing water in these mountains. And we're going to get a lot of this today. They don't call it Roaring Fork for nothing. So we're just about a mile outside of Gatlinburg. It's technically right in Gatlinburg. A lot of cars are heading towards the Roaring Fork, so it's going to be a busy day. We're going to stop and smell the roses. But days like this, pack your patience because you could be on Roaring Fork for a couple hours. So keep that in mind. Sometimes you can do it in an hour, sometimes a couple, maybe even 3 hours. And if you stop to smell the roses, well, you can do a good 4 or 5 hours. A lot of folks will pack lunches and find a little place somewhere along the way to have that lunch. So you got to have a parking tag if you're going to pull off for more than 15 minutes. At any given spot, so keep that in mind as well. So we're here at Rainbow Falls, and this is a very popular hiking trail here. And it's quite the hike from here too. It's not too bad, but it's I wouldn't put it easy for sure. And as soon as you pass Rainbow Falls trailhead, you'll come up to where we have to turn off to start Roaring Fork here. As soon as you pass Rainbow Falls, you want to turn right here at Roaring Fork. If you continue straight, yet again, it'll take you to Gatlinburg. And we do get a lot of people say, hey, I can't find Roaring Fork. It's 3 miles back to Gatlinburg from here. And it is 10 miles an hour. This loop is 5.5 miles. This will take you back into Gatlinburg eventually, out on 321. And if you're not comfortable with like mountain ridges or tight, driving in tight like spaces, this might not be, I guess it's the right term for it, because the road does narrow. And there's a cliff on either side of you sometimes. So when they had the Gatlinburg wildfires, this area here was damaged, and you can see evidence of that. The canopy is not as thick. And there's a couple pull-offs here where you can see pretty good views. There's one there, and then there's another one over here. We're going to stop off at that. There are 2 pull-offs up here that have some views. Really the only 2 places that got this. So you get a little bit of everything in this, but the driving experience is definitely the best driving experience in the Smokies. Yeah, and yet again, the driving experience has a wow factor, you know. A lot of twisty turns and everything else, but don't expect to drive fast on here. So this is Grotto Falls. It gets really congested in here. Another great hike. In fact, One of my favorite waterfalls in the Smoky Mountains is Grotto Falls. Get here early because parking does fill up very quickly, and it can be hard to find parking. I've seen I'll say it again. I've seen fist fights out here over parking spaces, so it can get pretty, the competition can get pretty fierce, right? And this is a really cool waterfall because you can walk behind it. And this is where this is the trail that the llamas take to go up. Yeah, it's like a tent or something.
That's weird, like a tent camper. I've never seen one like that before.
And that's the entrance right there. And that's so it's 1.4 miles to Grotto Falls. Of course, round trip is just under 3. Not much parking here though. So that's a warning, right? And if you don't park right in here, or you don't have a parking tag, they will tow you. They will ticket you. So make sure you park in a proper parking spot and don't have I've seen people park their car and people couldn't get around, remember?
Yeah.
So
that's why all those rocks are now blocking the side of the road.
At one time, people park everywhere.
Yeah.
Not anymore. We found some parking. Barely. But, and we found parking at the right spot too, because I like to stop here. It's amazing these little guys will grow right on a log here. Beautiful photo right there. Like right in there somewhere. We're gonna have to walk over there and see if we can get a closer look. But yes. And you don't even have to get out of your car. You can just roll by here and take in all the beauty of the Great Smoky Mountains. Of course, I recommend stopping. So this is a must stop for me. A lot of wildflowers in here, and that's what I'm in search of at the moment. Grapeyard Ridge Trail. So you can take it for 7.6 miles. Now there's these little gnats everywhere. I don't know if you can see them in the video there. And they're bothersome right now. So the bugs are out. Of course, the windshield, it's been a task trying to keep it clean. But you can pull up a folding chair and just sit back and take that in for as long as you want. Maybe bring a sandwich, a drink of your choice, and just chill. You don't even have to get out of your car. And a lot of folks don't get out. That's the beauty of these mountains here. So this is the Alex Coal Cabin. Unfortunately, because it's such a popular area, everybody comes here and decides that they're going to carve their presents here at the park, and you can see it all carved up. First off, for folks out there who don't know, and there might be a few folks in the channel who maybe don't know this, but you could get in a serious trouble by carving your name in structures or anything. Also picking flowers and plants and is prohibited. There's a lot of things that are prohibited, and I highly recommend everybody stop off at the visitor center. You know, you have to think of the early times when, you know, you sat around the fire, you cooked your meals in front of the fire. It was kind of the TV of its time, the stories that were told around it, and everybody lived in these one little room cabins. Yeah. So we have Kayla. She was here in 2024. Kennedy was. Brooklyn. And Gregory. And these folks here, they just carved and colored in. So it's sad. A beautiful dogwood back here. And you know that the Alex Cole, the family probably had planted these dogwoods, you know what I mean, or have, you know what I mean, it just seems how they're placed.
The butterflies are up there enjoying the dogwoods. I didn't know they could go up that high.
Butterflies?
That makes sense. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
See them?
Yeah, I see them up there. I don't know if the camera can see them, but beautiful day. Beautiful day. Not too hot. Not too cold. You know, that will change come summer. It'll be hot. You know, so days like this you treasure. And here's a little barn. They call them corn cribs. Feed, put your feed in there. Of course, you have the animal stalls up here. Yeah, so they had their pigs, their goats, whatever they had. I guess horses. I guess you can put horses in here too. In case you've never been on the Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail, make sure you have a full tank of gas. Make sure you have your snacks and drinks, but be careful if you leave them in the vehicle because the bears can get them and you don't want that. Also, there's no bathrooms along the way other than Grotto Falls or some pit toilets there. So, by the end of the trip, by the end of the Motor Nature Trail, you might need to go. Now, there's bathrooms as soon as you leave the park. They're not always available either. So, make sure, what's that old saying they used to say? Drain to lizard, right? Drain to lizard. People don't want to hear that, do they? Oh, wow, wildflowers. That's that waterfall that we've seen from the road. About the closest we're going to get to it. Beautiful. So the trillium are starting to pop up, and there's quite a bit of it in here. Yeah.
That's really pretty with the pink and white and the all white one. Oh, wow.
Yeah, let's get a closer look. Oh, the trillium are absolutely beautiful over here. Pink and white. whole field of trillium. The only thing now I need to see is a lady slipper, and lady slippers are hard to come by. There's a couple places I know where they grow, but that's on the other side of the park. We're not heading there today. Last year we went out there and they were already done, or maybe they didn't pop up that year or whatever. We didn't see them anyways. And it is Easter Sunday, 4/20 is what Dawn said.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter. This guy just pulled out. It was the last space. Oh my goodness. There's so many wildflowers in here. I wanted to stop. And I can smell the fragrance of flowers in the air. Can't you smell that fragrance?
It smells good.
And this whole hillside is covered. And these guys here scream Easter, don't they? Yeah, sometimes it's worth walking off the Motor Nature Trail and get out to take a look at these guys. Spring is here.
Spring is here.
And the
Nice.
Motor Nature Trail, the Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail is open. Yeah, pretty soon it'll be summer.
The fragrance is just unreal.
Oh, the fragrances, yes. It just... No matter where you're at on the Roaring Fork, you will hear the roar of the water. And back in the early days, folks that moved to the Great Smoky Mountains were told that they were crazy, that there wasn't any good farming land. You know, there's all this rock. And life was hard out here. That's why they call the mountain folk. The mountain folks were rugged. The thing is, I'm halfway out there, and they still choose not to stop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You're in a hurry, I guess. You're gonna take this trail. Take your time and patience.
yeah. If you come in here thinking you're gonna fly through, like you're gonna, make it for rope drop at Dollywood or something, you got another thing coming. And you don't even have to get out of your car. See this little grist mill. Just a little mill along the river. Yeah, a little yellow Jeep found a parking spot.
Yep. Looks good there.
It does look good there. So the water comes down the slough and turns a little wheel at the bottom, which then drives the shaft straight up that turns the millstone. I always like going in here. And there's the millstone. The water is so clear. Alfred Reagan, and he had the most colorful cabin here in the mountains. Supposedly he ordered his paint through the Sears catalog or something. Yeah, that's what the story goes. At least that's what the story I've been told. Okay, well, let's go ahead and head to the place of 1,000 drips. Oh, great little stop. Always a fun one there. Isn't that beautiful?
It's beautiful.
Place of 1,000 drips.
Yeah. You can just see it coming down.
And you don't have to get out of your car because the road is right there. And most people don't, but there is a pull off over here. And I always get out because that's a photo, you know. And this is the end of Roaring Fork Trail. And now we're here at Eli Mill, which literally is the exit. And I heard a rumor that the old mill here has been repaired. It's working again. Remember over the years I go, yeah, it's a shame that, you know, because the part of it, actually there wasn't much left of it. Let's go see this. So upon exit there is a couple restrooms, but they can be hard to get in. And they have some vendors and they have a little mill here. Oh my goodness, Dawn. Oh my. What? Do you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah,
It's back. We've been coming here for years, and I always said, what a shame that that old mill is not working. And they brought it back to life. And now there was nothing left but the metal parts, right? Is really what it was. Now it's, yeah, wow, that's crazy. I cannot believe this. That is amazing. If you would have told me a couple years ago that this here would come back again, I don't know. That is like the biggest wheel in the Smokies. It's huge. And it actually works. You almost kind of want to like jump up in there and run like a hamster. It's like a great big hamster wheel. It's really what it is. Yeah.
It's made out of wood too.
But it's got all the original components that have been here since the beginning. All the metal was here. It's always been here. They just rebuilt it. That had to take some work. Good things are happening here in the Smokies. I am so glad that that wheel is turning again. I never thought they would ever put that back together. And that's everybody exiting the park. And parking can be limited here. So it's a busy day. Let's head on inside. All kinds of handmade ornaments. They got a lot of unique gifts here. They even got a penny press. Yeah, Eli Mill. Yeah, mini sorghum. $3.50. Not bad. Calendars. Yeah, here's a pea shooter, Don.
If I do some
Some damage, huh?
damage, that's really.
Oh, there's even a crazy bear up there. Up and no good. Busy little store in there, and they got so many great items to be had. But man, I'm still blown away by they got the mill working. And they're celebrating 100 years. That mill's been around for 100 years. Can you believe that? They also have a lot of little vendors in the area that sell different things. A very unique gate. I always like coming over here and taking it all in. I've gotten some pretty cool photos. There's all kinds of beehives over there because they do their own honey here. You can buy honey from the Smokies. And this is a good photo here. Right there. That's a good photo. Yeah, established in 1925, which would make it 100 years old. That's Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail. Just an amazing place here in the Smoky Mountains. And there's a kind of a debate. What's better, Roaring Fork or Cades Cove? And I think everybody has their favorite. They're both amazing places, but I do lean because of the rushing water and all that. And I guess the difference between Cades Cove and Roaring Fork is Cades Cove, you're looking at the mountains, and Roaring Fork, you're in them, right? You know what I mean? Because of the mountainous terrain. What did you think, Dawn?
I really enjoyed the Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail because of the roaring waters, and the Cades Cove has got its own beauty with the mountain views.
And the big surprise at the end was Eli Mill is back up. Now, I don't think they're grinding any cornmeal or nothing like that. It's just for looks. Maybe they will get it back up running, but it's great to see it running again. And it is definitely the biggest paddle wheel. I don't know if you call them paddle wheels, but it is the biggest one I've seen in the Smoky Mountains.
It's amazing. It's all like out of wood too.
Yeah, and it's a 100-year anniversary. Wow, the wildflowers were amazing. It is a must. This is a must. It's right outside of Gatlinburg, a couple miles. Allow yourself 2 to 3 hours. On a busy day, you might put 4 hours into it, but it's worth the drive. But folks, thank you so much for joining us on our little Roaring Fork adventure today. Now it's time for you to have your own. We love you. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone.
Lord willing and the creek don't rise, they'll take you to see the countryside, driving all over Tennessee in their little yellow Jeep. You can come along wherever they go, all you gotta do is watch the show, so be sure you tune in. Don, would you do this again?